Hey everybody, welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. Scroft here for something a little bit different, but I thought today I'd do a mod review on a mod that I found, and it's called Real Vehicle Breakdowns. So this mod is on GitHub right now. It's actually a beta version of the mod, so it's not finished. You might find a few bugs, but I'll put a link down in the description to it, to the GitHub version of it. But what this actual mod offers is something completely new and probably something a lot of people have actually been asking for in Farming Simulator for quite some time. So what it does is it allows components in vehicles and equipment to have breakdowns. So random breakdowns and components will fail. So it's a little bit more sophisticated than another mod similar to this that we've actually used in previous versions. I think it was in FS22 originally because I remember using it. That mod's called Realistic Damage System, I think. But this one I feel like has a lot more potential and it is more promising. But yeah, because like I said, it's just super cool for what it even adds straight away. Yeah, it's the components fail. So I thought we'd show it off and we'd talk about it. This mod is by MathiasHun. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. Apologies if not. But I'm going to list out a few things that can actually happen with this mod. So these are a list of the failures. We've got a thermostat error. It can be two types. So thermostat 1 is overheating, and there's another one that's overcooling. All front and rear lights are malfunctions. You can have the lights malfunction. You can have spark plugs. In this case, fuel consumption increases and the engine is more difficult to start. The windscreen wiper motor can fail. So in this case, the wiper blades do not move. It's possible that it can cause other errors in the future. The generator, in this case, the vehicle's battery is not recharged, so I think that is probably the alternator. I think that would be an alternator kind of thing, generator, alternator, probably the same thing. So it may not discharge and the engine cannot start. You can also have engine errors, which is obviously like a little bit more, probably a lot more costly, so you've got proper engine issues. Self-starter, so that would be the start of the engine. In this case, the engine is more difficult to start or cannot be started at all. And then you've got battery issues. Now, this one I actually tested out first. I think this one's super cool, so we'll see that in a second. And then the service interval, so it does allow you to do services and you can do inspections and stuff like that. So it's definitely more sophisticated than anything we've ever had before. I'm sure I just saw the dog just walking on the roof over there. Completely. There you go. Yeah, he's on the roof, as you do. The basic gist of it is multiple things can go wrong with your engine. And what you'll notice is if you're in a tractor, doesn't matter what you're in, tractor, harvester, you'll notice two things that are straight away added. And that is, if you can just see it in the bottom right there, right on the speedometer, you've got RPM and the temperature of the engine. So it's really important that you look at that because it does state that if you start your engine, you have to really wait till it to get above 30 degrees Celsius before you start moving it because you can actually do damage to it, so you need it to warm up, and that's another super cool thing. But the first thing I'm going to do before the lights, before we test out some of the other stuff, because I don't think I can actually show you all the errors because obviously they happen at random times, and like I said, it is a beta version of a mod, so things are probably going to be tweaked for like the amount that it occurs or doesn't occur. You'll probably find that some occur too much or not enough, especially while it's in the beta stage. But the best thing to do is download the mod and post your feedback, because that way it can be fine-tuned to be something even better. My default for this was left Alt and W, and it actually brings up this vehicle menu. So this is what we get with it. So this is your vehicle overview menu. You've also got game settings menu, which is when you can actually set the service to be due. So I've actually maxed it out to 100. Now the reason I've done that is because it's not 100 hours of real life, it's 100 in-game hours. Now that's not if the tractor's not running. So let's say I've got a tractor that I've started the engine, it starts then, but it's calculating in-game hours. So I think that 100's probably about right. It is set to 40 as default. I just think I'm going to try it on the other side of it, just make it a little bit more lenient. So I have set that to 100, but remember that's 100 in-game hours as the vehicle engine is running. Then you've got in here, you've got repair only in vehicle workshop. I've set that to off just because I found it easier. I think if I open up the menu and I'm near the vehicle, I can simulate that I've got, I don't know, a toolbox or something. But you can set it to on, and then you have to take the vehicle to the workshop for anything to happen. But I'm just doing this pretty much just to showcase it. It's easier for me to showcase while it's off. Then you've got the opening time. So you've got to keep in mind that you can set an opening time for the vehicle workshop, which is I've set mine to 7 AM till 6 PM. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got alert messages. Now, I've kept these on, but what I really like about this is for me who does a roleplay and doesn't want to break immersion, I can actually turn off the alert messages. So when something goes wrong, there's nothing stating what this problem is. It's something that I've got to figure out. And the best way to do that, put it into the workshop, have an inspection, and so on. It'll tell me the issue. So I really like it. But this is the main menu. This is what we get. And I've put a few pieces of kit in, different stages. I've got my pickup truck here that's pretty much fresh. It's 10 months old, but it's only had, well, its real operating hours are actual real life hours. Now, I've set all these using the EasyDev mod, but these are actual hours in-game. So if I've been out in the field from, you know, let's say only 4 real hours of gameplay, but it's actually been 24 hours and the engine's been on the whole time, then that will show as 24 hours because it's gameplay hours. This is real life hours. And then this is the servicing. So you can see that these 3 vehicles here, the Ceta, New Holland, and the John Deere, all pretty much due a service. They're well over, and you can also see that it states which one I've leased because I thought I'd throw in a one that I've got leased out. Why you'd lease out an old Zeta like that with it's got the worst damage ever as well. It's conditions right at the bottom, paint conditions right at the bottom, but that's the one I chose. But yeah, so you can see from there you've got your operating hours, the real-time operating hours, you've got your service, the current price of it, and your horsepower for each vehicle. And then at the bottom, you can obviously jump to the vehicle, which I really like as well. We can enter it from here, but you've got your inspection, you've got your periodic service. So the best thing to do is if you've got a fault on the engine, you're not quite sure what it is obviously do your inspection. But what I have learned from reading through the GitHub page, and I highly recommend doing that because there's a lot more information on there than you'll find in this video, even though this is a bit of an introduction to it. You will need to do an inspection because you might not know that you've actually got a few faults that are, you know, adding up. So if you do an inspection, you might see that you've got an issue. So definitely recommend doing an inspection and then doing your service maybe. So for example, what we'll do is we'll take the New Holland and the John Deere, we'll give it an inspection on each one, wait for the time, then we'll do the service after. And if there's any repairs that come up, you know, we can obviously do that. Same for the New Holland, even though the New Holland over here, it's got nothing wrong with it, this harvester. We're going to simulate the battery dying out on this because we're going to leave the lights on. And yeah, I know what that sounds like. That's how cool it is. I can leave the lights on, turn the engine off, and then wait a bit of time, and the battery will die, and then I can't start it. So then we're going to recharge the battery, which you can see is an option here called battery charging. So that's obviously a little fee to do, but it means that I can start it back up. So that's super cool. Now, I've thought about this. Like, if you've got it set where you're only repairing in the workshop, but you've got your tractor out and parked up somewhere, whatever, you've left the lights on, but turned the engine off, the battery's died, you obviously can't get it to the workshop, can you? So it's nice to have maybe a little toolbox to bring out to kind of simulate you charging the battery, but it still will cost and you'll still need to bring this message up. So I think now what we'll do is we'll go through it. Like I said, a lot of these you're just going to kind of figure out as and when you play. But I think what we do first is I'm going to just get into the harvester. And if you look in the bottom right, keep an eye on the temperature. So we're starting the engine, it's at 19, but what I'm going to do is it does kind of warm up quite quick, so you don't have to wait too long. There you go. All I wanted to do was get that message up. So you can see that I'm at 30 now, but if you actually put your foot down and get to a certain, speed, it will say you're going to do damage if you carry on because of the fact that, you know, the engine's cold. So I really like that. And if we try it with this truck, it's probably easier to do it in this with the turning. But we'll try now. We'll get up to a certain speed and we'll see the message pop up, hopefully. There you go. Drive too fast, the engine is still cold. Now, I don't know if that's done any damage. We wouldn't know until we did an inspection, unless it's something like an engine failure or whatever, because then, you know, we'd see it, the engine would stop, and we can actually get some feedback from it. But that might have done some issues. I'll tell you what we'll do first. We'll do the lights, because I do really like that feature of this mod. So let's go over here. Let's start this up. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put all the lights on. And then turn the engine off. So now the battery is actually discharging. Now, I don't know if at some point when the mod gets updated, you'll start seeing battery levels. You might even get warning lights on. If you've got like an engine problem, you might get an engine warning light or something. You never know. There's loads of different things that could actually happen with this mod, but for a beta version, I really like where they're going and where they're taking this. So let's speed up a bit of time, and then let's just see if the lights go off by themselves, because I imagine that's going to be the first thing to do. There you go. So the lights have gone off already. It hasn't been that long, but it's obviously drained enough of the juice. So let's see what happens now when we try to start this. So you can probably hear that for yourself. That's a custom sound where the engine's not starting on it. So the battery's dead. So what we need to do is go to workshop. Let's just say we've got a toolbox with us and we bring up the Alt and W and we go to this and you can see that we have the option to battery charging. So we'll click that and it's going to cost us 194 and the battery will be completely charged at 5:30. So yeah, we've got like an hour and 15 minutes to wait for that. So we'll leave that to it. But what we can do is we can start doing a bit of the workshop in here. Now, I've brought the John Deere in and the New Holland. Both of these are due a service. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to bring up the menu. And I'm going to get to the John Deere. We'll go, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, we'll start with this one. And we'll do an inspection. And then we'll do an inspection on that. And you can see that the times, what it was giving us, we have to wait, so same with that. Now we have got the Zeta outside, but this is pretty battered. But I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. So you can see we have got an issue with this. It says the engine does not start, the generator has failed. So we need to obviously get someone out to fix this. So again, we'll bring up this, go in the Zeta, we'll do an inspection, and it's 4:30. It should tell us what we've got going on with that. And then we're going to have to do some repairs in the service. So we'll try and get everything sorted out. But the battery thing's super cool, man. Because it says all front and rear lights are malfunctioning. This is how I currently created the error generation. In the event of this error, the turn signals and hazards warning lights are functional. So it's only the lights. It's not like the turning lights or beacons. And you never know, that might get changed at some point, because that'd be really cool if we had like an indicator that just wouldn't turn off. You know, how annoying that'd be in cab, but it can happen. Or you might be able, it might not turn on. You might have a brake light out or anything. That'd be super cool. So I'm going to just speed up time a little bit just to see what messages we get. Go to 120. Right, so we have the Zeta vehicle inspected, repairs required. It's got a thermostat, lighting, glow plug, and a generator. Okay, so you can see that all that went out as running costs. So if we go back down to 1 now and bring up this, let's have a look at what it's telling us now. So we've got 72 repair charge here, and we've also got the service. So why don't we repair this now? And you can see that it's only £72, and it's actually going to repair the thermostat, the lighting, the glow plug, and the generator, but it won't be ready until tomorrow at 5 to 2. So we'll do that on that one. There's no repairs for the New Holland, but there was a repair for the John Deere, and it's $475 for the John Deere. So let's have a look at this. Now you can see that actually falls in place with how much the actual vehicles cost. So obviously the bigger the better the tractors, they're going to cost you more, because we got a lighting issue over here. It'd be interesting if we got a lighting issue. Just see if we can get into the John Deere, see if what kind of issue it is. So the lighting doesn't actually work. So even though the tractor's running, the lighting is dead on it. So there we go. So it definitely does need fixing. So let's get that set then. So we'll do the repair on that, and that won't be ready till 7:25 tomorrow. And the New Holland, it didn't have anything, but we might as well do an inspection on that as well. We can also do an inspection on this. And I think the only thing that left to do is we want to do a service. I want to do a service on this. But I tell you what we'll do. We'll wait till the service. We'll pass time to the day after, because we've got a lot of vehicles that are going through repair and a few that are still having inspection. So let's just speed up time again. Right, so did we get any repairs come in? It'd be nice if we had like a drop-down list somewhere where we could see the information. Especially when I'm speeding up time. So there's no repairs for any of these vehicles. And there's only 3 that require a service. But we are waiting for repairs on the Zeta, and we are waiting for repairs on the John Deere. These 2 are fine, but if you can tell, the condition, this one's charging its batteries. We said 5:30. So if we just have a quick look, has the lights gone back on? No. I was going to say, can you imagine if the lights came back on after? Because the battery's fine. So that's now all good. That works a treat. So the battery's recharged on that. So I think what we do is we skip until about the next in-game day in the morning. I think it was 7:30 was the first thing to drop in. So the condition of that is now 97. So we've repaired it. It was only over £70 to have that repaired, which is pretty good, but it is due a service. So let's do a periodic service on this now. So the vehicle's in service. This one's also fully repaired. Everything's fine. We did an inspection on that. There was no issues. So let's also put this in a service. But the John Deere did have repairs, but you can see that its condition's now full. It's got no issues at all. The battery's fine. But yeah, everything is having a service. So we're all good. What I want to do is, because all these 3 vehicles are actually in a service, I want to see if we can drive them. I don't know if did I definitely do the John Deere? So yeah, I didn't do the John Deere, so that was good that I tested that out. So let's put this in for a service, 938. So now if we try getting the John Deere, just wanted to make sure if I could actually drive it, but we can't because it's being serviced. So I really like that feature. Same for this, it's been repaired, but it's being serviced. So I just thought as well, I'd point out that if you've got any tools like implements or anything, there is an option down here for vehicles and implements. So if you go to that and you click it, and it'll show you up your implements. I've got a seeder that I've put in that's got low condition, but what we can do in this menu is repair that. So that's 5,700, and it just works like the standard kind of workshop does. So that's pretty cool, because it still means you can obviously repair everything else that you've got, like implements and tools, but you can do it in this menu. But it's only like the vehicles that are actually going to have these faults that are happening. Now, the battery on this is a problem. It's like a long-term problem now. And I imagine that by doing a service might fix it, but we can't do a service until we're due. Right, so we're at the next day. It's 1 o'clock. We're still waiting for a few of these vehicles to service. It does take a while for these vehicles to actually go through the service, because we want that to go down to 0. And then we're going to take a look at them and just to see, how they are. We should be able to get in them. Everything should be fine. But I really like this mod. It's obviously adding all these random breakdowns that you can have. So yeah, it's super cool, man. Super cool. Definitely go check it out in the video description. Let's speed through time a little bit and just see. We've just hit the point where all 3 of these vehicles, they have just finished their service. So they're in much better condition. The New Holland still needs a bit of a, its condition is low, but I guess I did that by using the EasyDev mod. What would happen is, you'd obviously give it any repairs and then it'd go up. So any faults that had happened, it'd have a repair. And then by the time you've done your service and everything, and you found any, inspection and then found faults, you'd repair it, give it its service, and so on. You wouldn't really have a condition that's that low before it probably hits that. So maybe it is better to have it about 40 hours, 60 hours, who knows, depending on what you've actually done with the vehicle. But I really like this, and it's dead promising. It's obviously got a lot of potential. Keep an eye out for any updates that it does. Definitely go back and check, because there's probably going to be quite a few updates to this. And another thing, if you are a big fan of the realistic damage system, which is technically like this counterpart to this, I did see some messages on GitHub of the mod author of that. So the mod author of the realistic damage system contacted MathiasHun, and yeah, we're talking about combining the 2 mods together. So how cool would that be? So keep an eye out for that, because you never know, that might be in the works. Really nice to see 2 modders working together, and these mods like this, PC only mods that are script mods, what a mod that would be if we combine them 2 together. So yeah, just a short video showcasing this and what it does and what it offers. There's a lot more to this probably that I can't showcase because of the faults that could happen, but what a mod, and it has huge potential. Real Vehicle Breakdown by MathiasHun, and yeah, it's in beta. Check it out on GitHub, link will be in the video description. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there, so thanks for watching, really do appreciate it every time. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please give it a thumbs up, because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.